Hi, myself Pooja Bak, Assistant Professor of GKCM of GIS Group, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Here you will find the details of my contact information, and I have developed a Facebook page where regular updates regarding this course are available time to time. Hi everyone. In our last video lecture, we have discussed delta modulation, transmitter and receiver part. And we have discussed that in DM, there are two types of quantization error. The first one is called overload error and the second one is called the granular noise. Now let's discuss these two drawbacks in detail. So the number one is slope overload distortion. So this distortion arises because of large dynamic range of the input signal. So as you can see this figure, the rate of rise of input signal xt is so high that the staircase signal cannot approximate it. The step size delta becomes too small for staircase signal ut to follow the step segment of xt. And there is a large error between the staircase approximated signal and the original input signal xt. So this error or noise is known as slope overload distortion. And to reduce this error, the step size must be increased when slope of signal xt is high. Since the step size of delta modulator remains fixed, we know that. So its maximum or minimum slopes occur along straight lines. So therefore this modulator is known as the linear delta modulator. So basically in slope overload distortions, the input signal xt is so high so that the staircase signal cannot approximate it. And the step size delta becomes too small for staircase signal ut to follow the step segment of xt. So there is a large error between the staircase approximated signal and the original input signal xt. So this error or noise is known as the slope overload distortion. And to reduce this error, the step size must be increased. When slope of signal xt is too high, then step size must be increased. But in delta modulation, step size remains fixed. So its maximum or minimum slope occur along straight line. So therefore this modulator is also known as linear delta modulation. Okay. Now let's see the second drawback, which is granular or idle noise. And in granular noise occur when the step size is too large compared to the small variation in the input signal. So this means that for the very small variation in the input signal, the staircase signal is changed by large amount delta because of large step size. So it shows that when the input signal is almost flat, the staircase signal ut keeps on oscillating plus minus delta around the signal. So the error between the input and approximated signal is called the granular noise. Okay, the solution to this problem is to make step size small. Okay, because in granular noise, the step size is too large compared to the small variation of input signal. This means that for very small variation in the input signal, the staircase signal is changed by the large amount of delta because of large step size. And when the input signal is almost flat, the staircase signal ut keeps on oscillating plus minus delta around the signal. So the error between the input and approximated signal is called granular noise. So there is a two drawback. One is slope overload distortion and another one is granular noise. In slope overload distortion, where the step size delta becomes too small, and in granular noise, where the step size delta is too large. Okay. So therefore a large step size is required to accommodate the wide dynamic range of the input signal to reduce the slope overload distortion, and a small step size are required to reduce the granular noise. Okay. And to overcome this problem or this error, we used adaptive delta modulation. So the adaptive delta modulation is the modification to overcome this error, granular noise and slope overload distortion. Okay. Okay, now let's see the delta sigma modulation. Basically, the quantizer input in the conventional delta modulator can be considered as an approximation to the derivative of the input message signal. So hence the noise result in accumulated error in the demodulated signal. So this is the drawback of the conventional data modulator. So this drop can be overcome by using this delta sigma modulator. So in the delta sigma modulator, the input sign is passed through an integrator before applying it to the delta modulator circuit. Okay. So now the advantages of use of integrator. So the use of integrator has the following advantages. Number one, the low frequency components in the input signal are boosted, or the low frequency component in the input signals are pre-emphasized. Number two, the correlation between the adjacent samples of delta modulator is increased. So this improves the overall performance, and due to reduction in the variance of the error signal at the quantizer input. And number three, it simplifies the receiver design. Okay. And this is the block diagram of delta sigma modulator. So here xt is the message signal, which is a continuous time signal, and it is first passed through an integrator and a comparator. The comparator output is applied to the pulse modulator block, and the pulse modulator block consists of a Hart limiter and a product modulator. And the input-output characteristics of the Hart limiter is shown in this figure. If the input to this block is negative, then it will produce a -1 output, and for all positive inputs, it produces +1 output. Okay. So the Hart limiter output +-1 is applied to a multiplier or product modulator. So the other input to the amplifier is the clock pulses produced by the external pulse generator. So the heart limiter output is applied to a multiplier such that product modulator, and the other input to the amplifier is the clock pulses produced by the external pulse generator. So the frequency of the clock pulses should be higher than the Nyquist rate. Okay. And at the output of the product modulator, we get the sampled version of limiter output, and it is transmitted over the communication channel and thus transmit a 1-bit encoded signal, and the same output signal is applied to the second integrator, and the output of the integrator 2 is compared with the output of integrator 1 with the help of comparator. Okay, so let's review this. So there is a XT is the message signal, which is continuous time signal. It is first passed through an integrator and a comparator, and the comparator output is applied to the pulse modulator blocks, and it consists heart limiter and a product modulator. And the input output characteristics of this heart limiter is shown this figure. So if the input of the block is negative, then it will produce a -1 output, and for all positive inputs, it produces +1 output. So the heart limiter output, basically +-1, is applied to a multiplier, which is product modulator, and the other input to the amplifier is the clock pulses produced by the external pulse generator, which produces the clock pulses, and the frequency of clock pulses should be higher than the Nyquist rate. And at the output of the product modulator, we get the sampled version of the limiter output, and it is transmitted over the communication channel and transmit a 1-bit encoded signal, and the same output signal is applied to the second integrator, and the output of the integrator 2 is compared with the output of the integrator 1 with the help of the comparator. So this is the input, this is the basically block diagram of delta sigma modulator. Okay, and this is the simplified sigma delta system in simplified manner. So since integration is a linear operation, we can combine the integration 1 and integration 2 into one integrator, which is placed after the comparator, and this will simplify the transmitter design to some extent. Okay, so this is the simplified sigma delta system. So receiver design basically is so simple by using simple low pass filter, and we can demodulate the original baseband signal. Here the comparator shift towards the left of first integrator, and there is a cancellation of both integrator and make a unity feedback. So there is no requirement of differentiator at the receiver side. And in delta sigma modulation, a smooth version of 1 PCM data generated at transmitter side. So the smooth version means out of the comparator integrated before quantizer, that is shown in the second block diagram, and the Hart limiter in quantizer generates only two representation level, that is plus minus 1, and called a 1-bit PCM data. So this is the overall delta sigma modulator. Okay, now let's calculate the bit rate of delta modulation system. So the delta modulation bit rate are equal to number of bits transmitted per second, so equal to number of sample per second into number of bits per sample. So the number of samples per second is denoted by Fs, and numbers of bits per sample is 1, because we know that delta modulation transmits only 1 bit per sample. So the number of bits per sample is 1. So it will be Fs into 1 equal to Fs. So therefore the delta modulation bit rate is 1 by n times the bit rate of a PCM system, where n is the number of bit rate per transmitted PCM quote. We can say that the channel bandwidth for the delta modulation system is reduced to a great extent as compared to that for the PCM system. So this is the overall delta modulation system, and in this session I have discussed the digital sigma modulation, and in my next session I will talk about adaptive delta modulation, and I hope that you have understood this session, and thank you so much for watching this video.